Hello, all my burger buns. It's Carla, and I am here today to make a very special burger. This burger is an homage to my mom, the COPPA burger. COPPA got her name, COPPA. Her real name is Carol, because my son Leo, when he was little, couldn't say grandma for whatever reason. He said COPPA, and it stuck. My mom, very particular about her burgers, and it inspired me to work on a burger that is just for her. This is what is special about the COPPA burger. First of all, it's not a smash burger. I've done smash burgers before. You guys have seen me do smash burgers many a time. This is a pub burger, or like a bar style burger. So it is taller and fatter. And the advantage of that is that you can cook it to an actual temperature. The temperature that COPPA likes is rare. And you can't really do rare in a smash burger. They're just all gonna come out medium. So I wanted a burger that I could cook to a proper temperature that was gonna be good enough for my mom. So I got on the phone with my mom and I was like, I'm making your burger for a video and I need all the specs. So let's take it from the bottom to the top. No ketchup. There's no ketchup. There's ketchup on the table when she makes burgers. There's no ketchup on her burger. She is a Dijon and mayo mixed together Dijonnaise person. So that's what it had to be. We have a raw pub burger. We have cheddar. And this is the thing that really I wanted to lean into the most. I love cheddar. I love the flavor of cheddar. I think cheddar is a great choice on a burger. Other members of the family feel that the cheddar never melts the way they want it to, that sometimes it might get a little bit greasy looking, or that it doesn't like flow the way American or a Monterey Jack might flow. And I wanted to prove those people wrong, she said, pointing menacingly with a knife. And so that's what I did. I have figured out how to get the cheddar to be just this beautiful, like, melty blanket over the patty. I'm very proud to say that this episode is sponsored by Cabot. I feel like my children have been raised eating Cabot cheese. It is a cheese that I've had in my house and been working with professionally and just for my own enjoyment for many, many years. If by some miracle you have never seen or heard of Cabot before, they are a cooperative of family-owned farms located in New York and throughout New England. Cabot cheeses are naturally aged, they are super high quality, and most importantly, they are so delicious. So they have many different cheddars in their line, and as soon as this partnership came to be, the first thing I thought of was my mom Carol's favorite way to have a burger, which is a cheddar burger. And I have put this burger through the paces, 5 rounds, 6 rounds, 7 rounds. Lots of things were wrong with it, but it was never the cheese. The cheese was always good. I can't wait to show you exactly how I've incorporated their cheddar into this recipe today. But aside from that, you should be snacking on the Cabot. You should be discovering all the different varieties of the Cabot. Recently, way before this even happened, I've found their horseradish cheddar. Delicious. The habanero cheddar. Knock your socks off. Seriously Sharp is like one of the seriously greatest cheeses of all time. So we are here for Cabot. This is cheese forward. I was away over the weekend talking about how excited I was to film this video with a friend who happens to be lactose intolerant, and she's the one who told me that Cabot cheeses are naturally lactose free because of the way that they are aged. So there's really something for everyone. These cheeses are just filled with benefits, but the most important thing is they are delicious, they are beautifully made, and they're super high quality. Another great thing about Cabot is it kind of doesn't matter where you are. There is Cabot in every grocery store. So find Cabot at a grocery store near you. Head to the link in the video description for more. So you might be looking at me wondering, if Carla is making burgers, why is she cutting what looks to be like beautifully marbled meat? Well, I will tell you, the first draft of the burger development, I used regular ground meat that I've used a million times to make smash burgers. And I cooked it up and I had the cheddar. It was just a first pass. It's like the first pancake. It wasn't that good. It was like kind of dense. It it bulged because the proteins tightened, and it was gray, and it was a little bit chewy, and it like was a little dry. And frankly, I was like really disappointed. Then I remembered a video that I had watched on America's Test Kitchen about burgers and ground meat in general. And the video was really about this protein called myosin, which I'd never heard of before. So shout out America's Test Kitchen. We will link to that video. It's in their Techniquely series. But essentially, myosin is a protein that gets like activated when you cut into meat. And most ground beef that you're going to get at the supermarket has been processed like quite a bit. Then it's handled and it's packed and it's thrown in the tray, and all of that is activating myosin. And what myosin does is it is a binder. So it binds to the other proteins in the meat, but it also binds to like liquid content, like water content, and it hangs onto all of those things and it like grips. So myosin can be great if you want something that is like super together. But for this burger, what I wanted was biting into it, having all the juiciness, having things flow, and I didn't want a dense and dry burger. So that meant hand cutting the meat. So I'm hand cutting to get it into small pieces. It's going to go into the freezer, and then it's going to go into the food processor. I know it's a lot for a burger, but it's not just any burger. It's the COPPA burger, and I was converted by this method. The other thing that maybe not everybody knows about Carol Lalli is Carol Lalli is a food professional. Carol Lalli taught herself how to cook as a young person, like really young, like a teenager, to cook for her two younger brothers, and self-taught cook, became a caterer, then became a food writer, then a restaurant reviewer, and then she was a cookbook editor for many, many years. So my love of cookbooks and my love of cooking 100% comes from Carol. So she would also appreciate like what do we need to do here to get like a really great burger? And she was into the progress reports on the things, because if we're gonna have a burger night, we like to say burger night in America, a lot of times it's when we get together on a Saturday, and like we have time to like cut up some meat. You have time to cut up some meat. The other meats weren't good enough. That's the thing you have to hold on to. The ground meat wasn't good enough. The sirloin wasn't good enough. The Denver steak was too chewy. It needs to be good enough. It has to be better than good enough. It has to be like excellent. It's a COPPA burger. The first time I made the burger, I sliced the cheese very thinly, I thought. Very lovely, very easy for melting. Didn't melt well. So this is like the beginning of the journey of like, maybe this is why people say the cheddar on their burger didn't melt well, because maybe slices isn't the move. So we have to challenge our belief system sometimes when we're working on a recipe. You gotta like forget what you thought you knew. So I went to a grilled cheese place knowing that one of the innovations that has been made in the world of grilled cheese is that you grate the cheese and it melts better and it melts more evenly. I'm using the Cabot Vermont Extra Sharp. This cheddar melts incredibly beautifully. I want like a cheddar forward flavor. I want that sharpness, that aged flavor. If you like a white cheddar on your burger, or if you just happen to be shopping for this and they have the white one, lovely. I think the yellow is kind of iconic. I love the way it looks on the burger. So I ended up with about an ounce of cheese on each patty. So we need 4 ounces, and it's just easier to grate when it's in the whole block. Like if I cut that into 4 ounces first, I would be like down to the nub by the end. So I'm just grating it from the full block. Cabot also sells cheese shredded. I also wanted to develop the burger with a cheese that like everybody could get. So I'm really, it's like trying to dial down every element of the burger. Beef chuck, everybody can get that. Cabot extra sharp cheddar, everybody can get. The muffin, which I'm not even going to get into, the choice of bun, because it's going to incite violence, but the choice of bun, everybody can get. I want you to get the same results in your kitchen that I get in mine. When we have burger night, we just like put the condiments out, including ketchup for the heathens who want them, But let's just make this a little saucy so that we can put it on both sides of the bun without having to like dip in twice. So just your favorite mayo. I do like a grainy moutarde for this because of the little pickled mustard seeds that are in there. But if what you have on hand is just regular Dijon, I'm not measuring, so we're just mixing them together and gonna see if it tastes good. But I think something pretty close to a 50-50 ratio. And then I poured off some pickle juice from a jar of pickles just for sass. Like you would put pickle juice in a special sauce. So you can do whatever you want here, but this is just a creamy Dijonnaise. You could buy Dijonnaise if you wanted to. Yum. Sassy. So, COPPA sauce, aka Dijonnaise, is ready. When we grill onions at COPPA's house, a lot of the time we do them in thick rounds and just throw them right on the grill or right into a cast iron skillet. So that's what I did for round one. Cosmo actually told me that 1/2 inch was too thick, but I like having the rounds. And instead of grilling it in one piece, which causes other problems because as the onion cooks, like one side kind of pushes up like that. When you flip it over, it's like concave, so only the edge gets brown. These are things that you notice when you're like really dialed. I am blessed with a griddle in the middle. If you don't have a griddle in the middle, maybe you have a griddle pan and you're gonna put that across your burners. And if you don't have that, you're gonna be using a big cast iron skillet. I just am leaning into the griddle and I'm turning it up to about 400 degrees. I want to keep these in rounds because I like how it looks. But if cutting it like this is annoying, cut it in half first and then go half moons. Separate the pieces. And if you didn't, I actually, in my conversation with COPPA, she said, red onion, Vidalia onion, yellow onion, Spanish onion, like all of the onions. But I was like, you need to focus. If you could choose one onion. She was like, oh, red onion. I was like, okay, then that's what we're going to use. But you could, like if you had everything and the red onions didn't look good, get a different onion. Sweet onions that are marked in the supermarket and Vidalias, two different things. A little bit of veg oil just to coat these guys. Regular black pepper. Oh, the innovation. There's an innovation coming. You don't even know about it yet. It's a very home cook friendly innovation. I guess if you're doing these in a cast iron skillet, you could just oil the skillet and then season them. But because mine are going to go on my griddle, I just like to have them. This is just an easy way to evenly season everything. I know not everybody has one of these, but it is a good, oh yeah. Okay, so we're around 400 degrees. Here comes the innovation. This is a deep cake pan. The reason that I have this is because I want to cover these on my griddle. Again, if you're using a cast iron skillet, you're going to be able to use a lid for the skillet or you're going to invert another skillet over it. But one thing that you see when you watch a lot of these restaurant burger videos is that they cover the burgers after they put the cheese on with like a deep hotel pan. People don't have that at home. And I was like, what could be that? What could be that? What could be that? A cake pan. So that's our lid. And I'm actually intentionally not spreading the onions out. So I'm just making like a pile of onions. And then I'm gonna take my cake pan and make a house. And that's gonna go for about 4 minutes. Save the bowl, the onions can go straight into the same bowl when they come out. So like lots of steam is released, lots of floppage. This one, nice caramelization at the edges, pile them back up. And I try to get the more browned ones on the top of the pile, but you don't really have to stress. And then cover them back up. Oop, this guy got away. I'm gonna set my timer again, this time for 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 6 minutes total. The cake pan gets hot, so just remember that when you're lifting it off. Okay, these look great. We have like, everybody got some browning. People still have integrity. Not full flop. Love it. Ship it. Live it. Win it. Own it. Crush it. And now the little bit of sauce that I'm bringing to the onions is just a splash of vinegar. I think with the sweetness and the caramelization and like the creaminess of the thing, vinegar with cheddar, cheese, and something like you would have like on a cheese plate, like a pickled thing or caperberry. So we're in this like really nice world where a little bit of brightness is going to be great. Can you tell the people about your feedback on the onion journey of the COPPA burger?
Well, I only had one type of onion.
Okay.
I only had like the last one.
Okay.
And they were too thick.
Too thick.
They were like this big.
Yeah.
Around.
And you said something about how it was eating.
Yeah, you'd take a bite of the burger and then you couldn't really go all the way through the onion. So you kind of had to like drag it out like Lady and the Tramp, except there was no other person and you kind of just look stupid. The other person was the napkin after you spilled all over your chin.
Right. I did take it down a bit. What do you think? Did I?
Not really.
I mean, I think I did. What if they were like these, that size? Would that be bite size?
The problem is you can't. There's no like really good way to evenly distribute onions like this.
Got it.
That's my problem with onions. That's why I don't griddle onions.
This is what the meat looks like after 40 minutes in the freezer. It is very firm, but if you push on it, this is hard to see, but it does have like some give. This is 1.5 pounds of meat. I'm gonna roughly do half of it at a time. Don't do the whole batch because it'll chop unevenly. So that's why I have to split it into 2. And then I'm gonna be pulsing, like long pulses, and do between 35 and 40 to get to where I want them to be. 33, 34, 35, 36. Okay, that looks great. It's more uniform. These are broken. These are smaller pieces. That's like bitsy to me. So I'm gonna dump that first half out on one half of the board, or one half of this tray. All right, here we go, second batch. All right, this looks great and lovely. Okay. 1.5 pounds of beef for 4 burgers means every burger is 6 ounces. If you don't have a digital scale, you can definitely just do what I did, kind of piled it up evenly and divided into 4 parts. The goal here is to be like very, very loosely packed patty that still is holding together. So the way that I've kind of come around to doing it is I make a ball, but like, just holding together. Throw that on the scale. 555, make a wish. And get that to 6 ounces. And then I'm going to just into a ball that just holds together. Maybe this is a softball size. And then on my board, flatten it a bit, and then kind of just, with as few kind of presses as possible, press it out to a 4-inch patty. It's gonna be about half an inch high. And if it's like not perfectly round, that's cool. If it's a little craggy on the edges, that's also okay. Where it breaks apart, we'll just get like craggy and really crispy at those edges. You'd rather have it a little bit craggy and open textured than keep working it, because then you get a tough burger. So if you're forming the meat and you're finding that you feel like the fat is starting to melt or they're just getting like tricky to work with, just chill the meat back down. I haven't had to do that, and I don't think you will either, but if it is giving you any trouble, there's that. Okay, so now seasoning like fairly aggressively with kosher salt. Because it's a thicker burger, you want to season it well. It's also, fat's going to render off of the seasoned side also and melt away. So it's not all going to be there in the end. And I like black pepper. If you don't like black pepper, you can skip this. You can't skip the salt though. This is going to go down seasoned side first, so then I'll season the second side. I don't want to work the meat any more than I have to at this point. Burger time in America. So like always, even with a fatty cut of meat, adding a little oil to your cooking surface is going to help get even browning, help get things going, and just like a thin coating. This is it. 400, 425. That's a medium high to high. And I need to position these close enough together so that the cake pan will fit over both of them at the same time. A domed lid would also work. A metal, like square brownie pan would work. Season side down. We're gonna lightly press, and they are gonna stay there for 3 minutes. So a light press on that first side, because we want to make contact, but we're not flattening. I'm gonna season that exposed side, same way. Three minutes. Set a timer. Kind of important. It matters. 3 minutes. I want to see gorgeousness when I turn them over. Like pornography, you know gorgeousness when you see it. And there it is. Right after the flip, you've got your Cabot cheddar. And I kind of like to pile it in the middle. We're going about 1/3 of a cup per. For the cheese melting, it's Cake Pan Innovation HQ. 2 minutes. 2 minutes for rare. 2.5 minutes for medium rare. 3 minutes for medium. Don't you dare ever tell me that cheddar melts greasy on a cheddar burger, because the COPPA burger and the Cabot cheddar is here to say, shh, you zip it. So one of my favorite things that I like to behold in the COPPA burger is these like beautiful bubbles that form. It's like, I don't know what it is exactly. I think it must be steam and juices that are bubbling from underneath are then pushing the cheese up and filling them with steam, and you're getting like a cheese inflation burger bubble. What? Hello. Okay, I'm thrilled and delighted. These have to sit for a couple of minutes, which is great because that's exactly how long it takes to toast the English muffins. That's right. I am using English muffins. I know in smash burger world, it's all about the potato bun, the seeded potato bun. I grew up watching my mom eat burgers on a goddamn English muffin. And you know what? The ratio is magnifique. The first time I did this, I heavily buttered the English muffins. They were kind of greasy. They didn't get brown. The next time I did them, no butter, cut side down, 2 minutes, perfection. And I'm only doing the inside of the muffin so that that side that is next to the burger is toasty. It won't suck up all of the Dijonnaise it will have the ability to soak up a lot of the juices. And then from the outside, the muffin is just like hot and steamy. So have I thought about it a lot? Yes, I have. Do I feel good about it? Yes, I do. Love. Also, these are the king-sized English muffins. Huge fan. So going down. If you do have a weight, this is a great time to use it. Pressy downy. Ooh, can I fit all 4? Yes, I can. So now I'm setting a 2-minute timer. I scraped down the griddle, but there's still like burger essence. These are resting. I'll take a temp on those, and then we get to build a better burger. So after sitting in for a couple of minutes, I want to get a temp on that. 120, 121. That is absolutely perfect for like the rare side of medium rare. Boom! I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. This doesn't happen every day, but sometimes shoot day is the best version of the recipe. And I'm just like happy and proud to report that today is one of those days. Okay, so we have our Dijonnaise bottom bun. I have my lovely little onions, just like a nice little tangle. I think this one is just like picture perfect, like COPPA herself. Resisting the urge to like do more. Like I want, like we talked about lettuce. She doesn't do it. Tomato only if they're in season. They're not. Pickle on the side. And that is a COPPA burger. I'm going to cut into this. We want to see what we want to see. I think we all know what we want to see. Okay. Okay, medium. I would say this is medium rare to rare. Wow. That's all I have to say. I eat like 2 burgers a year. And when I do, I want them to be really special. And this one is really special. I think it's perfect and exquisite. I think the onions eat great. Thank you again to Cabot for making this beautiful cheddar burger possible. You are going to honor the Cabot cheddar with the throne that it deserves to be upon, which is beautiful meltability and absolutely delicious flavor. I don't know who's complimenting who anymore, but together they are one. This is my favorite burger. This is the COPPA burger. I want cheese snacks. They've been sitting out for a minute. It's not fridge cold, which actually you want because it's going to melt better if it's not freezing cold, but also all the flavors of the cheese come out when it's not totally cold. Delish.